Call the regular meeting of the Texarkana, Arkansas Board of Directors to order. A couple of housekeeping deals, if you would, if you will silence your cell phones. If you wish to address the board tonight, we have citizens communication card on the ledge. It would be beneficial for the board if you go ahead and fill one of those out, give that to our city clerk, and you can be recognized. You don't have to do it, but if you wish to do it, you can fill one of those cards out. We'll get to citizens communication time at the end of our meeting tonight. At this time, we'll have a roll call.
Director Hollebush,
Here.
Director Odom,
Here.
Director Minor,
Here.
Director Peavy,
Here.
Assistant Mayor Teeters,
Here.
Director Harris,
Here.
Mayor Brown.
Here. At this time, we'll have our Pledge of Allegiance and invocation by Director Terry Peavy.
Now as we pray, please. Heavenly Father, as I reflect back to last week's 9/11 and how throughout the day, all the people who died, the victims, the first responders were remembered throughout that day. I'm just so thankful and grateful for the ones that gave and made the ultimate sacrifice. And I'm also grateful to those who are serving so that they can meet the needs of people who need so much help. May we never forget. Now we ask for your guidance as we go about doing the city's business and trying to benefit our city. It's in your Son's name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. At this time, we have a special presentation to Kevin Davenport, IT Professionals Day.
Good. How about you?
So National IT Professionals Day, September 17, 2019, whereas the power of technology is wielding a huge impact on the world, and whereas the U.S. tech industry is a major driving force in the overall economy, accounting for 7.1% of the overall GDP, 11.6% of the U.S. private sector employment. And whereas the information technology draws on a highly educated and skilled U.S. workforce of nearly 2 million people, a number of which has continued to grow during the past decade. And whereas the cloud, computing, mobility, big data, automation, and social technologies become common elements for businesses of all sizes, and as cybersecurity becomes a constant concern and the need for employees with technical expertise is growing. And whereas booming technology, economic, and demographic shifts continue to rapidly change our world, it is more important than ever for organizations from small businesses to government agencies to embrace effective information technology practices. Therefore, I, Alan Brown, Mayor of Texarkana, Arkansas, do hereby proclaim September 17, 2019 to be National IT Professionals Day. It's signed by myself and the city clerk, Heather Sawyer. So congratulations and keep up the good computer work.
And Kevin, be sure
Yes.
and introduce who's behind you also.
Okay, yes. I'm Kevin Davenport. I'm the IT manager for the city. This is Michael Birchfield and Bill Parker. They're both technicians in our department. Not everyone could make it tonight, but we truly do appreciate the show of support and appreciation. It is much beneficial to our department and morale and everything. And there's a lot of professionals in the city that work in IT, and I know they appreciate that Arkansas is giving this recognition.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, at this time, we'll move into our consent agenda. Director Harris has asked to remove item 3 from the consent agenda. So at this time, on the consent agenda, we only have item number 2, it's approval of the minutes of the regular scheduled meeting of September the 3rd. Do I hear a motion to approve of the consent agenda? Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve of the consent agenda, which consists only of item number 2. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. This time, we'll consider item number 3, which is to adopt a resolution to amend the year-end 2019 budget to include a 2% pay raise for all city employees. Director Harris.
Well, the title itself, to me, says a lot when stated all city employees. And I'm glad that that's how it's being presented to all city employees. And I'm glad that the mayor made that recommendation at the last board meeting that when he made the could the finance and the city manager come with a resolution authorizing a pay increase, and that's all I wanted to say. That I'm just glad that this was targeted to all our employees, all city employees, and that's basically what I had to say about the resolution.
Is there any other discussion on item 2, item number 3? We're going to have to adopt the resolution. All right.
I'll read it.
Okay, at this time, we'll have the city manager read the resolution, city attorney read the resolution.
Whereas upon request, city staff prepared the attached calculations representing the expense and corresponding appropriations associated with the 2% pay increase for regular full-time civil service and non-civil service city employees effective as of the pay period beginning September 8, 2019. And whereas in order to effectuate the pay increases contemplated by the attached, it is necessary to amend the FY 2019 budget. And whereas the city manager and staff recommend such amendment, now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Directors of the City of Texarkana, Arkansas, that the FY 2019 budget is hereby amended to include the expense contemplated by the attached for the purposes set forth above, and further to include the corresponding appropriations from the city's fund balance as follows: $82,084 to the general fund, $9,488 from the Public Works to the Public Works Fund, and $832 to the Bi-State Justice Fund. Pass and approve the 16th day of September 2019.
Okay, the resolution has been read. Do I hear a motion to adopt the resolution?
Move for adoption.
Second. Have a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? If not, could you call the roll, please?
Hollowbush,
Yes.
Oden,
Yeah.
Minor,
Yes.
Keating,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes. Moving right along, we'll get into our regular agenda items tonight. Item number 4 is to consider the following actions concerning substandard structures. Conduct a public hearing regarding the condemnation of a substandard residential structure located at 307 Charles Street. That'd be followed by adopting a resolution condemning a residential structure located at 307 Charles Street. Should be Sean Maxey. Welcome, and at this time, we'll open a public hearing to consider the condemnation of 307 Charles Street.
Good evening, members of the board, Mayor Brown, Dr. Haskett. 307 Charles. Go ahead and take it. There we go. That is next door to 309 Charles, which we talked about at the last meeting that I was here. This burned around the same time that we had the meeting, so we decided to go ahead and bring this for condemnation so we could get both of them at the same time. It's pretty well, it's pretty well gone, and we're having the city maintaining it, so we're asking for condemnation for the residents.
Okay. All right, does anybody have any questions of Mr. Maxey? Yes.
I do.
Yes, sir.
I know I'm very aware of that place there because it's right across the street from another place that I routinely go visit a resident there. But I know it's in the back of it. It's basically had became a dumping ground. How's the city going to handle that situation? Y'all came and cleaned it up once, I will say that much. Y'all put the trash dumpster there, and y'all did come and clean it up sometime last year.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get into calling no name of the person who could be doing this, but I just want to know, and the resident want to know, how is the city going to handle that situation?
Unless we catch him dumping it, I don't know what else we can do. We have to actually catch him in the process of doing it. Or somebody has to tell us, be willing to say that this is the man that's doing it. And we've got to be able to find him. The last time we were there, he was sleeping in his truck next to this residence. So we were able to catch him, write him a citation at that point, which he cleaned up what little mess he had left. Then once he was gone, he started doing it again. Somebody's doing it again. We assume it's him.
Okay.
So I've only got 2 guys, and they work 8 to 5. So unless we can find a way to catch him, that's all I can do, is just try to keep an eye out for it.
And I know the next question which the resident want to know is when are the 2 houses planning on being tore down?
They're scheduled right now.
Okay, which don't get into another situation. I know there's a house on the corner of, even though it's a burnt house on the corner of Dudley and Cleveland, and that also on the one on Spring and Grape Street. I don't think those have brought forward, and they burnt house, and they probably was burnt before this one, and when is they coming before?
I've got 150 tag structures. I went through and looked at all of them. I've made a list of all of them, and I went through presently 35 of them, and I've taken pictures of them and put them in the file, and the ones that are burned, I'm putting them first on priority list, and first of the year, I'll bring them to you guys for condemnation.
All right, okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Is there any other questions?
Sean, is this gentleman that you were discussing, does he have anything to do with the homeowners, or?
I believe he was the son.
Oh, okay.
I believe he was the
So
son.
he feels entitled.
I'm not sure.
I'm putting
Yeah.
words in your mouth. I
Yeah.
didn't mean to do that.
But from the other neighbors, they say that he's the son, so, and he's never in one place very long. So,
But no help as far as,
no help. Thank you, guys.
Any other questions? Is there anyone from the audience that wishes to speak pertaining to this public hearing on this condemned property to be condemned? If not, I'll declare the public hearing closed. So at this time, we're going to consider the resolution to condemn it.
Whereas the Public Works Department has requested an order of condemnation under Section 1187 of the City of Texarkana, Arkansas Code of Ordinances for the following property: 307 Charles Street, parcel number 4710091, Block 2, Lot 6, Ord, Robert, First Edition. The owner Edmund Willett, and care of Ola Mae Collins, 309 Charles Street, Texarkana, Arkansas 71854. Whereas the owner of the listed property has been notified that the structure on the property is in violation of applicable law and code, including any applicable violation of the Arkansas Fire Prevention Code and International Property Maintenance Code, but little or no work has been done on the structure, and the allowed period has lapsed for the owners to voluntarily bring the structure into code compliance. And whereas the Public Works Department has attempted to notify by certified mail the last owner of record of the property, informing them that the Board of Directors will consider declaring the structure, including all structures on the property, a nuisance. And whereas the notice of condemnation will be sent to the owner of record, allowing 30 days to obtain a permit for repairs or a permit to demolish the structure and to clear the property, failing which the city will have the right to demolish the structure after giving the property owner at least 10 days in which to remove any personal property. And whereas the city manager and staff recommend approval, now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Directors of the City of Texarkana, Arkansas, that the above property is condemned under the provisions of Section 1187 of the City of Texarkana, Arkansas Code of Ordinances, and that the Public Works Department shall provide the owner of record with notices of condemnation and allow 30 days for repair or demolition by such property owner, that the Public Works Department is authorized to demolish any of the above described structures that are not repaired or demolished within the 30-day period after giving the owner at least 10 days in which to remove any personal items, passed and approved this 16th day of September 2019.
Okay, the city attorney's read the resolution. Do I have a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt the resolution. Is there any other discussion? If not, could you call the roll, please?
Hollibush,
Yes.
Odom,
Your turn, Travis.
Minor,
yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Brown.
Yes. Okay, the resolution passes. Okay, moving right along to item number 5, which is to consider the following action concerning proposal for Section 108 loan on Legion Drive, which is the Boys and Girls Club. I believe Attorney Jim Fowler's here and Tracy Lee is here. would you like to come forward, Mr. Fowler? First thing we'll do is get an explanation from Mr. Fowler. There's been a few developments on this today, and then we will go ahead and have our public hearing.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, board members. Jim Fowler with Rose Law Firm, your city's bond counsel. As you know, this is a HUD program to extend the credit of the United States government to local governments to allow them to access markets and borrow money at rates at the equivalent to the United States government's rates. The HUD, the programs operates through loan guarantees of private loans, but HUD strictly structures and controls the private loans that come in the form of a variable to fixed rate. The variable rate's through large money center banks, and the fixed rate goes through securitizations by large investment banks. The standard HUD forms, we had some issues, and Ms. Lee and we have been able to negotiate what we think are much improved positions for the city in this, in the basic documents that were mentioned in the ordinance that was on the agenda tonight, primarily dealing with the city's ability to redeem the note during the adjustable rate period, to substitute all of the real estate collateral provisions with the pledge of a portion of city's refuse revenues, and to re-amortize the principal from the original structure that was in there. We've received verbal agreements from HUD as of this morning on these key points that we think are important to the city. We didn't have time to get them into the actual documents that are referred to in the ordinance, and I've recommended to the mayor that we table the ordinance until the next meeting, until we actually have the forms of those documents with those provisions in them. I'm happy to answer any questions that y'all may have at this time, if you have any on this financing program.
I would just comment that I would be acceptable to those recommendations that we've discussed today, and that's certainly a more favorable position for the city in getting those worked out. And I appreciate you doing that and what Tracy has done on this. We know this is something new for us, certainly new for me, and I appreciate all the work that's been done on it. I do think the recommendation to table is a good one, and to get these items fixed and put that on the agenda at the next meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And we are not moving backwards, we're moving forward on this project.
Okay, is there anybody in the audience that wishes to address the board pertaining to this public hearing on the Boys and Girls Club? Seeing none, hearing none, I declare the public hearing closed. At this time, the recommendation of the attorney in Public Works is to table the ordinance to the next meeting. Do I hear a motion to table this particular ordinance?
So moved.
Okay. A second?
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to table the ordinance. Is there any other discussion? If not, could you call the roll, please?
Calabash,
Yes.
Odom,
Your turn, Travis. Vote, you vote. Say yes. Can you say yes, Travis?
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
Present.
Brown,
Yes. So that's enough.
That's fine.
Yeah, right. So the ordinance is tabled till the next meeting. All right, moving right along, we have one more agenda item tonight, and that's to adopt an ordinance to establish an entertainment district that allows open containers of alcohol consumption in the district. Entertainment district, which would technically be the second reading. I've discussed this, and Mary Becca's here on behalf of the public planning. I discussed this with our city attorney this afternoon, and basically there are quite a few changes in this particular ordinance, similar to a couple of others that we have dealt with for quite some time. It's our opinion, we feel like that it's probably in the best interest of us to table that ordinance indefinitely and have this ordinance that's being presented tonight by Ms. Beck presented in its first reading, second reading, third reading, however long we want to take it. I will say that I have been contacted by several people and that their opinion is for us to try to pass this ordinance tonight. So that's just their opinion, but I have been contacted by some people to try to have this. But this is an ordinance. It does not have an emergency clause attached to it, but it is an ordinance that would require to be enacted tonight. It would require three readings and a motion to adopt. So, having said that, Ms. Beck, would you like to come forward and talk about the ordinance and the changes that we've made to it and what's being presented to us tonight?
Yes, sir. We had as you know, a joint workshop was scheduled with the Planning Commission and on August 20th. And then at our regular Planning Commission meeting on September 10th, we had an additional workshop and a public hearing. And what has come out of that is as you noted, an ordinance with some changes. One of the things that, if you don't mind, I'll just read the changes to that as
It's fine with me.
the ordinance will be read in completion, but that way, just focus on, yes, sir. One addition was to state the statute that no open containers are allowed in motorized vehicles. We thought that might have been a point of confusion for some people. If they thought their car was in the entertainment district, they might think it would be okay to have an open container. So we wanted to draw attention to that and not have somebody get in trouble accidentally.
Mary, I can't hear you as well, maybe. Open container, you cannot get in your vehicle with an open container, right?
Correct. Even if it's
Even
parked,
this.
not running, no open containers in vehicles anywhere, from what I understand.
Right.
That's just a no-no. We wanted to make sure that people were clear on that, so that,
Thank you.
yes,
Pardon
yes,
my
ma'am.
interruption.
We had recommendations by local business owners that brought to our attention some things that we didn't have perfect clarity on, and we really appreciate all the input that we got from the community. One of the things was a licensee, that is someone licensed to sell alcohol, may allow a carryout of an open container for people 21 years or older in the entertainment district, but no open containers containing alcohol may be carried into any business establishment, because that would cause them to be in violation of state liquor laws. Even some places are allowed sale of wine and beer, and if someone brought something in that was not in conformance with that, it would cost them their license. Or some tempered drinks. Wanted to make sure that that wasn't going to put anyone, including our businesses, at risk. We did include the cities to provide trash cans and daily pickup or as needed. Thought that would be important to have that as something that kind of allay people's concerns. And I think one of the big changes that we hoped would kind of keep us on the right track is that there would be a review on June 2020, after the Planning Commission would get input from Public Works, the Police Department, and Fire Department, and prepare a report and bring to the board on how the entertainment district is operating, if they would recommend any changes. So that way,
Well, it's basically after the first 6 months.
yes, and then again at January 2021. So we felt like that was kind of, having a specific time set out so that we don't get into something that's causing problems in the community, or if we see a better way to do something, it would be taken care of in a timely manner.
Who would be the ruling party in that?
Ma'am?
Who would be the ruling party in that if things do arise like that?
You would be. What would happen is the Planning Commission would prepare a report after it interviews the police and the fire and Public Works, and they'll, we'll bring that report to you, and you can make a decision on the basis of that if it indicates something that needs to change.
I would also like to add, in the event that something is happening we're not prohibited from taking an immediate action at that point to address the issue.
Okay.
That was going to be my
Yeah.
concern right there, and I
I mean,
appreciate.
we're not going to wait 6 months
Be-
if there's something out there that's
Right,
outstanding.
and that's why I would be more
Monitor and
comfortable
adjust.
with as needed in there, just like, kind of like the trash. Because with the initial startup, we think that, you all have addressed anything that might happen, but we know that is often not the case. So if occurrences do happen, I was going to say, am I reading this right? That can't be addressed until 6 months down the line?
No, of course, you can reword that right now in this meeting as you wish, but it's not meant to restrict it to a 6-month review. It's meant to just reinforce that this is going to be something that's monitored with a specific method to have it monitored.
Director Peavy, I'll assure you, if there's something going on out there that is not in concert with our rules, regulations, and also if there are concerns by board members or either the public or even the business owners for that matter, then we will address those issues promptly. I mean, we're not going to wait 6 months. We will move and we will act accordingly.
I think it needs close supervision at first.
Yes.
I mean, especially,
Once the
we want it
ordinance,
to work, you
once the
know.
ordinance, if the ordinance passes, the ordinance becomes the law of the board. So the board would have the option to change and review and do anything that we wanted to with that this time. Now, we may have to instruct staff to put some information together for us to rewrite that ordinance, but once it's passed, it would be, if I was getting complaints about it and something was going on, I'm going to do something about it. So I'm going to bring something to the board, try to have that ordinance changed. The one thing, when I read the changes, I accept all the changes made in there. I think it would be better and more clear at the end, just to put that even though we say we're going to review it 6 months and then we're going to review on 2021, it also needs to be put in there that there will be an annual review, period. That every year after 2021, it's going to be reviewed annually automatically. That's an automatic review
Yes.
prior to something not coming before this board in the meantime. I would just put in there that it needs to be after 2021 reviewed on an annual basis.
I agree, and as needed. And as needed.
Okay? So on that last
Because we
part.
may not always be here, city manager. And so the way that it reads, it doesn't read or as needed, And I'm not planning on being here forever, so.
Mary, may I help you, Ms. Beck? I do want to echo, the mayor's correct. I mean, you could do something contrary conceivably tomorrow at a special meeting. I mean, it's very fluid. The board has the authority to change its ordinances within the state statute. So, but to put a provision in there for annual review, you could do something, Mary, maybe where it says the month of June 2020, January 2021, and thereafter annually, based on input from Public Works or something like that, if the board is more comfortable with that.
Or as needed.
Well, I mean, it's as needed anyway. We don't have to say that, otherwise you'd have to add that to every one of your ordinances. It doesn't need to be in every one.
Remind me, an ordinance takes 30 days anyway to take effect? Is that?
That's correct, without an emergency clause. This does not have an
And the-
emergency clause.
yeah,
It's 30
right.
days from the day.
So it'll be
we pass
30
this.
days anyway from the time we iron all this out.
So you're good with that? We can make that one change that the city attorney's recommended there at the end.
Absolutely.
Everybody good with that?
Can do that right now before it's read into record.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So what I'm hearing you say, George, or as needed is not needed in there?
Otherwise, you'd have to add it to every ordinance. This ordinance is in effect until something else is needed. I mean, obviously, that's just implied in all of them. Mine's more of a precedential nature. I don't mind if you have as needed in this one.
You
But if
don't?
it started to become a habit of the board, it seems a little superfluous. That's it. And I'm fine with, and thereafter annually or as needed. That's fine with me. I just wanted to.
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
This, I think, will be closely enough monitored closely enough that we can work on it.
There you go.
Thank you.
All right, is there any more discussion from the board, Director Harris?
Yes, about a year or something ago, I know I had two persons ask me, one person had went to Memphis, Tennessee. I guess they went to this, I think it was Bourbon Street or something. No,
Beale Street.
That's, yeah,
Beale.
that's Beale Street. And they came back and they asked me, could they get something like this Texarkana? And I told them, I think the law forbid that at the present time, for having something like that. But I think this basically is county, from my understanding, the county would do that. And also, there's another person asked me about a daiquiri shop. And I told him I don't think that our law will allow that, and I don't know how would this affect that, because I was also been stated to, because Little Rock, now I don't know how true this is, so, but Little Rock, when they did their entertainment district, they were able to incorporate a daiquiri shop, and I don't know what people understand what I mean when I say a daiquiri shop. You know, I guess you having ice, liquor, and I guess you making like a Slurpee, but it's got alcohol in it to a
We can let the
certain
city attorney answer that for you. And the first part is that the state legislature passed the entertainment district law this past session that allowed these cities to apply and create ordinances for entertainment districts. Prior to that law being passed, you could not do this.
Okay.
Then the answer to the second part is, ABC in Little Rock is the one that regulates the sale and distribution of alcohol. So if that kind of business otherwise would fit in zoning regulation and something like that, sure.
Okay.
But if it wouldn't, then it not the case.
And I guess, and the reason why I was getting out the question for this, because I guess this was in my, well, I guess it still is in my ward, and so far, I haven't had no one come and ask me to deny this, the way this is written. Matter of fact, I didn't have no one come and ask me to vote against it when it first came up, how it was originally ordered, how it was originally written. And I also noticed that they was telling me that football season is finna get ready to come, and where Texas side, they get to sell alcohol on Sunday, and they may help Arkansas by having an entertainment district where people can go down now and watch football games and at these places and do that and maybe help with our taxes that we in our need of more sales tax. So.
Question,
Yes, sir.
along with that, if you don't mind. If a business downtown wanted to be open and serve liquor on a Sunday, they could, correct? I mean, there are establishments in Texarkana that serve liquor on Sunday.
That's correct, and again, it's governed by the state.
Right.
In Texarkana, it is convoluted the way it's written, but it essentially means that those businesses that do that are private clubs.
Right, so you have to buy a membership.
Right, so you have the private
You have
club.
to get the private club.
Right, and that may or may not include a fee, I don't know. That's a state level thing, but those are private clubs, they can do it on Sundays.
That's for the Sunday sales.
For on premises consumption.
Yeah.
They're not off premises, that's correct.
Okay.
And what this would do essentially, in layman's terms, is expand that on premises to include the entertainment district.
So if we had festivals downtown on a Sunday,
Yeah.
and as long as they had the permits for it, liquor could be sold.
And you could walk out the door. No,
And
but
you
you're
could
not
walk
walking
out
out with packaged goods to
Hours in
take
the
home.
entertainment district.
But not walk into another business that didn't have a liquor license.
Right.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
And who's going to grant the permits for Sunday public?
ABC, I guess.
ABC does. It's very similar to the namings. You have to have the, what's the term?
This is, there's a prohibition,
Private club permit.
there's a prohibition on drinking in public. It's a crime. What this does is remove that as a crime within the entertainment district that's established by the city. That's what that does.
And I'm assuming that the signs and the trash cans are going to be ready to go if this passes in 30 days without a problem?
Yeah, they'll be in place before the entertainment district is open.
Any more discussion from the board? If not, then I think the first order of business would be to entertain a motion to table the original ordinance.
I make a motion, we table the original ordinance indefinitely.
Second, there's a motion and a second to table the original entertainment district ordinance indefinitely. Any discussion? If not, could you call the roll, please?
Hollowbush,
Yes.
Alden, Matter,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Peters,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes. Now, for consideration for the board for the entertainment district would be the new entertainment district ordinance that we've just discussed tonight with the one change pertaining to the review process. You want to read?
Do you want me to read it?
Yeah.
An ordinance to add to the City of Texarkana, Arkansas Code of Ordinances, Chapter 28, Article 7, Section 28-82, supplement provisions, and to amend Article 11, Section 28-142, definitions to include entertainment district as a land use and for other purposes. Whereas the city desires to provide opportunities for increased cultural activities, and the state of Arkansas has provided an opportunity to establish entertainment districts. And whereas the Planning Commission, after 6 workshops and 2 public hearings, have solicited and considered input from Texarkana, Arkansas Police Department, the Historic District Commission, Main Street, downtown business owners, and property owners, and the public at large, and has concluded there is wide support for the formation of an entertainment district. And whereas the Planning Commission does certify to recommend addition of an entertainment district defined and described below to the City of Texarkana, Arkansas Code of Ordinances, Article 6, Section 28-82, Supplemental Provisions, Entertainment District. An entertainment district may be established to allow open container consumption of alcohol subject to the following conditions. The area of the entertainment district must have established entertainment venues and operating restaurants that serve alcohol. Set boundaries and hours are to be enumerated for any district established, and signage posted with hours allowed for open consumption. Nothing in these regulations shall in any way conflict with or exceed the limits of Arkansas state statutes governing alcohol regulations, including but not limited to no open containers may be carried out from liquor stores, no open containers are allowed in any motorized vehicles, and underage drinking shall not be permitted. No glass containers for any liquid shall be allowed in the entertainment district during entertainment hours. Hours of operation shall be posted on signage and mirror Arkansas state statutes, that is Arkansas 11 a.m. to midnight, that is Sunday 11 a.m. to midnight, and Monday through Saturday 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. The licensee may allow alcoholic beverages to be removed from the licensed premises to persons 21 years of age or older to carry within the entertainment district. No open containers containing alcohol may be carried into any business establishment. The city is to provide trash cans and daily pickup from those trash cans or as needed. A review of the entertainment district is to be provided to the Board of Directors from the Planning Commission during the month of June 2020, January 2021, and thereafter annually or as needed, based on input from the Public Works Department, Fire Department, and the Police Department, with any recommendations for amendments. At the city manager's discretion or his assignee, typically the Public Works Director, part or all of the entertainment district may be closed to through traffic for street dances, music acts, art exhibits, or other cultural events or promotions. Article 11, Section 28-142. An entertainment district with specific boundaries is an area where entertainment venues and restaurants serving alcohol are located. During hours of operation of the entertainment district as set by the city, alcohol may be consumed in open containers outdoors, but subject to all state of Arkansas statutes as well as local ordinances that otherwise apply. The boundaries of an entertainment district is shown on the attached map and ranges from State Line Avenue at 5th Street, west to Walnut Street, south on Walnut Street to 3rd Street, then east along 3rd Street to Laurel Street, and from there south on Laurel Street to Broad Street, then west on Broad Street to Hazel Street, and turning south on Hazel Street, Hazel curves and merges into Front Street, west on Front Street to the east side of Pine Street, then north along the east side of Pine Street where it merges into State Line Avenue, and north from there to the point of beginning at 5th Street. A boundary map is attached. Now therefore be it ordained by the Board of Directors of the City of Texarkana, Arkansas, that these regulations are adopted and incorporated into the City of Texarkana Code of Ordinances, passed and approved the 16th day of September 2019.
Take a breath.
Yeah.
Ordinance. Drink of water. The ordinance has been read on its first reading tonight. Do I hear a motion to have the ordinance read on its second reading?
Motion to have it read on its second reading in abbreviated form.
So I have a motion to have it read in its abbreviated form. To have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to have it read a second time. It's abbreviated form. Could you call the roll, please?
Hollowbush,
Yes.
Odom,
Yeah.
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
An ordinance to add to the City of Texarkana, Arkansas Code of Ordinances, Chapter 28, Article 6, Section 28-82, supplement provisions, and to amend Article 11, Section 28-142, definitions to include entertainment district as a land use and for other purposes.
Okay, the ordinance has been read on its second reading. Do I hear a motion to have the ordinance read in its abbreviated form in the third reading?
Mayor, I move that we suspend the rules and place the ordinance on third and final reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to have the ordinance read on its third and final reading. Could you call the roll, please?
Hollowbush,
Yes.
Odom,
Yeah.
Minor,
Yes.
Peavy,
Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
An ordinance to add to the City of Texarkana, Arkansas Code of Ordinances, Chapter 28, Article 6, Section 28-82, supplement provisions, and to amend Article 11, Section 28-142, definitions to include entertainment district as a land use and for other purposes.
Okay, the ordinance has been read on its third and final reading tonight. Do I hear a motion to adopt?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second to adopt. So prior to the board voting, is there anyone here in the audience that wishes to address the board pertaining to the entertainment district ordinance? Okay, seeing and hearing none, could you call the roll, please?
Hollowbush,
Yes.
Odom,
Yeah.
Minor,
Yes.
Mayor Brown? Yes.
Teeters,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
I want to adopt a resolution to give all the city employees a 2% pay increase.
We have taken care of that for you. So the entertainment district ordinance has passed, and it will take effect within 30 days from tonight, correct? 30 days from tonight. So
After publication.
after publication, it'll take effect 30 days from tonight. So, all right, there's not any other items on the regular agenda tonight. This time.
Mayor.
Yes.
Could I,
Yes, ma'am.
just thinking about last meeting, I would like some clarification on, there were some numbers being spoken about, and about the 50-mile radius. I would like to ask the city manager to clarify that. I don't remember that being in there, and I think maybe that was a misunderstanding, or...
That is correct, Director Peavy. The 50-mile radius was not part of the ordinance that was adopted a couple of weeks ago. We were specifically addressing the region. Yes, you are correct in the fact that it is region, not 50-mile radius that was included in that ordinance.
Thank you.
Yes.
Mayor, I noticed, I would like to ask Mr. Tyler some question. I know that the last board meeting that someone asked him some question. I would like to have the same opportunity.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Last on September the 9th, I was asked to attend a meeting over there at Iron Mountain Center, and I know that wasn't my ward, but they had warned about getting the area cleaned up. But my question is, not only the area in their ward, that area on the Iron Mountain Center, what about the entire city? Are they planning on being a citywide cleanup? Because if you ride around now, which I normally do, based on my ward, you'll see a loss of couches, furniture on the side of the road, and it's just stationary there, and there's no, I know that the city is charging a mechanism for them to pick it up, but yet if no one not calling in, how is that gonna get done?
We are steadily picking things up. We pick things up every single day. It is absolutely impossible to get every bit of it picked up right away.
So
as we receive a complaint, we immediately get it picked up. But there's not a whole lot more that we can do about that. We can discourage littering as much as possible. It's never going to completely do away with it.
I'm not asking you to discourage. I'm not trying to discourage. I just want to know, is it being picked up and it also is being picked up, and the resident is not being charged for picking up, because initially, it was an ordinance was passed ordinance resolution was passed that you're gonna charge the resident to pick up a couch or furniture stuff that's placed on the side of the road.
Okay,
So
so
we
we,
saying,
go ahead.
you saying that this been done at no charge?
No, absolutely not. If a resident sets any furniture or anything out at their curb, they're charged for it. We have the dollar truck program. We cannot operate, we cannot do that without charging for that. No matter whether we have that program or not, we're constantly going to be picking up trash as much as possible. We have many things that we have to do, and we try to keep the city as clean as possible. However, if a resident sets furniture or whatever it may be at their curb, they do have to pay for the dollar truck service.
But more than my first question, when the city gonna have a city-wide cleanup?
Okay, so the typical annual citywide cleanup that is conducted, that is not the city that organizes that.
Okay.
That is Texas A&M University's big event, big cleanup event.
So
There's multiple organizations that join in with that, but it is not city organized.
Okay, so you're not gonna have a cleanup? That's basically what you're saying now.
There are other entities within the city that do that event annually, and we participate in that, but we don't organize that.
Okay. Okay, and the reason why I was asking the question, because when we went to this new trash service, we said we were saving the city overall $1.2 million, but I don't know that the length of the contract, but yet the city water bill steady getting higher, but yet, and trash is steady being dumped, if you go along this area, Iron Mountain Center along the railroad track, and I even called you a couple times by the track. Couches and furniture were being dumped over there on the side on Seaver Street between Seaver and Pleasant Street, But my thing is, what are we gonna do for to help the city, And I think the city need to do something. They need to have some type of cleanup or something. I understand they talking about money issue.
I think that can certainly, Director Harris, should be addressed in our budgeting process. If that's something that you're passionate about and want to see to do, we have a budgeting process that we're fixing to get into here in the next month, and we need to allocate some funding to do it.
Yeah, but I think it can be done now, with the new trash service that we went to. And and what I'm really getting to, I know on the Texas side, I know we still being compared ourselves with Texas. They can set furniture out on the sides of the road and eventually be picked up at no cost to the resident. And I wonder, did the city a good favor with the resident by going to this new trash service person? Because based on we doing this, that we lost the ability to know with Western Waste. I'm not saying it was currently being done, but I'm saying that, and I'm not making no argument for Western Waste either, but I'm saying that on Texas side, if they set furniture out, it's being picked up at no charge, with
I can't answer for that, but I'm not for sure. But
Do you have that, is that documented that happens? They do pick up?
They do pick up, I am aware of that.
They also pay a whole lot different price than we do.
Yeah, that's true.
That's built
And
in.
their pickup is once a week instead of twice.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure about them, but they have a lot of different things built into their contract, and they pay a lot more for it.
Okay, that's all I had.
Okay.
That was it.
I can attest to the fact that if you go and, if I go and pick up all of Woodland Road, or 24th Street, or wherever I pick up trash, it will be back tomorrow. People have no conscience in dumping,
And I've also been asked about the white suits or the, where they have been. They haven't been seeing them out as much lately, and I don't know where they are really.
That's correct. We're not able to get them as much as we used to, which really hurts
tell.
us. It hurts us tremendously.
Our ditches are really suffering.
Well, it's not solving the problem, but can I just say, this is a problem with our residents, not our city officials.
Yes.
like I said, Tyler and his crew can go out and clean it every day, and it's back the next day. So this is not, I don't want us to be blaming our city officials for this. This is the lack of morals and dignity on some of our citizens.
Taking pride.
And if we did go and pick it up for free, then people would be dumping even more because they didn't think they'd get in trouble for it.
That's right.
Mayor, I would like my response, since I'm somewhat getting in a roundabout way. I wasn't blaming the city official, I was blaming trying to get the resident in each ward, well, basically certain wards and certain areas of the city cleaned up now. And that's my total focus point, you know. It wasn't about trying to blame, and I noticed how that certain times of the year that Public Works does something, does not do something. But, you know, if somebody, I hate to get into this issue then, but if somebody was up for a re-election and they were trying to make that person look good, they're gonna go and clean up his neighborhood like, I don't know what, which happened for Ward 3 about a year or something ago, but it didn't help, but
I know, I certainly direct our services citywide, don't concentrate on any one ward, no matter what the circumstances may be. If we get a complaint, we tackle that complaint no matter what ward it's in.
Any other discussion? If not, we need to move into citizens' communication time. At this time, I have one request.